So several of you guys had some great suggestions to check on the dump truck. Scared. Erik's towing me right now. I'm petrified. I am so scared. Oh my gosh. I've never done this before. I totally died. Gotta go. Thank you guys so much for all of your suggestions. We are going to try turning it on to see if it's going to go. So this is the full from the ground up starting since she was dumped here. Well, actually it started up pretty good. Oh, look at that. She's moving, but she is smoking, and he still has that tow strap under there. So what's your consensus?
It moved.
It did move.
I guess we could try that tube. That'd be the cheapest route to go.
Well, you mean you don't want to drop $2,000 on this puppy?
That was the starting point.
You guys are like the best mechanics ever. Let me tell you, you can come up with some great ideas and things to check. Definitely thank you for giving us those ideas. It gives us a good starting point because Erik was going to drop this off at the the transmission shop this week. Clara, you're not going for a ride. Come on, Carl.
Yeah, it would.
What are you pouting for?
It wouldn't budge an inch in any gear, like reverse, drive,
no,
2,
nothing.
1, nothing. There's nothing.
There's nothing there except brakes, which I was thankful for. I'm very thankful for brakes.
I think Carl thinks he's going for a ride.
Carl does think he's going for a ride. Look at him. He's like, what's the deal? What's the holdup? So anyway, thank you guys again for all of your suggestions.
I'm going to go message that guy I was talking with last night that rebuilds transmissions.
Yeah. Okay.
See what his thoughts are.
All right. Keep you posted. Today is the day. We are going to be tapping maple trees. I'm only doing 20 taps this season. The last time we tapped, I think I did 150 on the vacuum lines, and then the last time I did buckets was about 300. 300 buckets is a lot for one person to empty every single day, and it takes hours. It's been 3 years since we've done maple syrup, so we're just gonna do just a nice easy run just because we really miss it. Just because we don't have a sugar shack. Pretty much we're just gonna set it up, cook it down, and then take everything down. This is, these are our swamp maples. We have some red maples right here. Down there is some silver maples. I know the silver and the reds are a little bit tricky to tell apart, but there's a little bit of a difference between them. And to make matters more confusing, they can also crossbreed, so then you can have a red silver maple. Yeah, try to figure that one out. Anyway, so these guys don't give off a whole lot of sugary sap. They do give off sap. They're very common to maple, especially going north. We do have sugar maples, but they are much further back on our property. So real quick, I want to show you this tree right here. From far away, I assumed it was a silver maple. And to make matters more confusing, it actually has a silver maple growing out of the side of it. This might be another hybrid tree. I'm not honestly sure. Because this is a silver maple right here, and the reason I know this is because we look at the branching pattern right here. Maples will always have parallel branches. See right here is parallel branch. Their secondary branch, or their primary branches don't necessarily have them because they break off, but the smaller ones typically you can see it. See, there's one right there. If we look up here, we can see one right there, and then at the top there's a fork right there. This one, the branches go straight out, and actually, yeah, this one must be something different. I wonder what this is. See, now this one has branches. Maybe this is a large elm. I'm not exactly sure, but the branching pattern is not consistent with a maple tree. The bark looks identical to a silver maple. You look at that tree compared to that tree. Their bark is completely identical. But this one is very different, where it has a lot of low-lying branches. All of the other maples, their branches are very high, and they fork upward toward the sky. Where this one, the branches come straight out, horizontal, parallel to the ground. Interesting. That is a very interesting tree. That's also a maple, and I don't have waterproof boots anymore, so those are all maples. All those trees with the green moss on the sides, those are all maples. But I'm not going to go all the way down there. Cumulative for the property, we've had people ask how many trees total could we tap if we were to tap the majority of our property, and it would be about 800 trees. That's a good size run. We are not equipped for that. I got 2 down and I have a lot more to go. All right, well, wish us luck. I hope you enjoyed that, and that is maple sap tapping 101, beginner's way. Yeah, we finally have our first full bucket after 2 weeks. You can see most of them are more like this, where it has just a little bit. This one is completely full. I just checked these this morning, and I'd say it probably filled up 3 gallons just today. So that's why we use 5-gallon buckets. Now, the silver maples have a much lower sugar content. You're looking at anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5% sugar. So it takes a lot more maple sap to make 1 gallon of syrup, approximately 60 gallons. Yep, just another day running the forks. My least favorite skill because I'm not very skilled at it. Hopefully I don't drop this, because that would be bad. It's also end heavy. Alright, it is time to cook down the maple sap into syrup. Now this is our very, very basic redneck setup. This is not our normal setup, okay? So don't look at this and say, oh, is that what you normally cook on? No. This is our emergency cook setup. Now I just lit the fire and I'm gonna show you what my pan setup is looking like. So you can create this setup at home very easily. If you have a couple steel barrels, you can connect them and run a couple steam table pans. This is a disposable pan, or minus a pan from somewhere. These I got on Amazon. They were $18. The price ranges from $18 to $30 depending on the type of pan, but this is 18 gauge stainless steel, and this is obviously aluminum. Hoping this will be okay. I've got two here to give it some extra sturdiness. These are gonna cook the fastest. These two are gonna be the syrup pans. This is pretty much gonna be the preheater. So eventually everything's gonna consolidate down to 1 to 2 pans. I'm not sure, maybe it'll be 2 pans. Also my hydrometer is broken, so we are also going to do it the redneck way of just going by temperature. This is not stuff we're going to sell, so it's not a big deal. A lot of people think that you cook maple syrup to 218 degrees. That is not correct. You actually cook it according to the barometric pressure of the day, and it could be 219, it could be 224. We've had to cook all the way up to 225 sometimes, and our handy dandy little hydrometer allows us to kind of figure that out as to what temperature we need to cook it to. So like I said, we're just gonna wing it today and cook it to 222, I think is what I'm gonna do, because that's on average what we cook to. This is a steam table, funny enough. You can see there's the little slider things. Now if you're wondering what's in here, this is actually a pretty handy dandy little system we made up. It's all been filled with fire stuffing. I don't remember what this is called, fire insulation stuff, and then there's more brick back there, but in here is actually a tube, and that is right here. So this is our air intake. So this is gonna blow air into our fire chamber, which is gonna supercharge the fire and supercharge our syrup, so it makes syrup faster. So you get a nice little billow coming out the top. The other thing is, normally this chimney stack is 3 times higher. It's got 2 more pieces the exact same length that go on the top of it. But as you can imagine, I'm just a little bit too short to put those up there. So, like I said, we're definitely rednecking it today. You do want a certain height for your thickness of your stack. This is a very thick stack. I believe it is 12 inches. It should have been 10, but we couldn't find 10, so we went with 12. And based on the diameter of your stack is how tall you have to make it. So even though it seemed excessive, our stack was actually perfect height. So it sounds like our fire is going, and that's great. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That is perfect, and I just started it. Anyway, we've got a nice fire going. You can see that we're starting to steam in a lot of these pans right here. This one is getting a little bit full. So we're gonna take our scooper here, and we're going to scoop out some of this. Pretty much we want to keep them all about the same height. So you can see there's a lot of sediment and stuff floating around in there, and that's okay because that's all going to get filtered out. And real quick here, I'll show you the fire. So it's actually not burning super hot right now, and that's okay because
this inside here was pretty wet. So we're just kind of running it a little bit gentle right now. And then after like an hour, we can really boost it up just by taking that baffle away. That'll supercharge the fire. And yeah, you can see the smoke coming out of that. Okay, so we got this one going pretty good. Look at that guy. So I need to get some butter. That's what I need. So normally when I run this system in the professional setup, we run it at about, it's about 3/4 to 1 inch is what we run it. And so the less sap you have in it, the faster it cooks. And the more sap you have in it, the slower it cooks. So right now I'm running all of these to about 1 inch. Alright, so now you can see this when the pans are actually starting to boil. It's not a raging boil, but it's a slow rolling boil right now. Once it hits a raging boil, you won't be able to see anything at all. So we still have a warming pan right here, which is probably about 75 degrees. And then this guy is obviously doing a nice boil. These guys are definitely kicking it up. So I grabbed these things from the kitchen. They will work to skim the foam. My professional tools need to be replaced. So we're just gonna kind of scoop out the foam like this and then flick it. All right, so we've been rolling for about 2 hours maybe. So this is our warmer, our start to cook, our 2 heavy cookers, and then our 2 syrup pans. You can see the difference in the color. You don't normally see it in a big syrup pan because there's so much steam coming off from it. It's hard to see anything, but this one's kind of nice. You can actually see it pretty good. We gotta get a little bit of butter in these guys here. Come on, butter.
Control it just with the fan. Look at.
All right. So once you just put like a tiny little flick of butter, not even a flake, just a little nub, and that takes it down. This one's
starting to roll.
Yeah, that one's pretty full. That one might need a little bit of butter in it too. That much, and this is probably even too much. Yeah, you don't want it too full. That's going to be overflowing. And always wear leather gloves and non-burnable clothing. This is my burn jacket. And burn. It's actually burned a little bit, but not too bad. Oh, yeah. These are, you can tell, my battle scars. Alright, so let's see what we got here. That one's nice and full, that one's nice and full. That one can definitely use some, and that one can probably use a little bit. Let's get this going. Needs taken out a bit. Another easy thing you can do too is have a wooden dowel that's completely clean, and then mark with permanent marker your level line.
The difference when I turn the fan off, what this does.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Eric's gonna turn the fan off. So this is what it cooks like without the fan.
You just lose the rolling boil.
Yeah, the boil gets turned down a lot.
All right.
So the nice thing is, yeah.
Instantly.
You can hear it too, and the whole unit is actually shaking right now. This is on low, but I did pull the baffle off, and it's actually hitting pretty close into that right now.
That's such a major difference.
Yeah, you can see it coming out. And again, we don't have the extra stacks. The extra stacks would help pull the heat in, but we have.
Doesn't that give you more draw? the longer snap?
It does, but I think it keeps some of the heat too, so it's not just going straight up. Is that pretty hot?
Hot enough I don't want to touch it.
Yeah. I can see it's
purple,
hot.
dude.
I can see it hot all the way up. I can see it rippling. Yeah, that did turn purple.
I mean, you can see the heat coming off.
Yeah. Don't get too close. Yep, and this is not airtight at all. But we're cooking down pretty good. Let me see. We're not quite to 50. We started at about 80.
What are you hoping for, like a gallon and a half or so?
I'm hoping for a gallon and a half. I don't know. It just depends on what our sugar content was. We were fortunate that the weather stayed cool enough, so I don't think mold got to any of it. The sap wasn't cloudy at all. It stayed clear the whole time. So I think it's gonna come out as really dark syrup,
so cold.
but it is. Yeah, it never warmed up. I mean, it had an ice layer up until yesterday.
Did it really?
Yeah. When I was dumping buckets, I was dumping them on top of the ice. A couple more hours and we'll have hopefully some syrup. Oh, I can see it really good from right here.
Right here, it's like that's why you need that other stack pipe on there.
It's a good thing we've got the barn closed. Yeah. Yep, that's exactly why we had the 2 stack pipes, and that's why they recommend it.
Yeah, it's real close to the pipe.
Might have built the firebox a little too high. Burn rate is definitely increasing. So it's almost 9 o'clock. Probably 15 gallons per hour, which is pretty good for a hybrid redneck system.
I need to increase my flow just a little bit.
Yeah. You want me to turn it up?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna have any hair left because of all of the sparks coming out, landing in my hair. Erik doesn't have that problem.